5 years and still talking. This is GABNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Live from Harlem, from New York City, it's the Ramble with me. I'm Alex Bennett, and I'll be here until midnight Eastern Daylight Time. Yes, hello there, everybody. How are you? Good evening. Welcome to our fine little program. How kind of day has it been for me? I had those seeds put in, in the prostate. And they said, oh, you're going to have to pee a lot, and it's going to be hard to pee sometimes. And first week or so, everything was fine. And all of a sudden today, like 2 weeks in, I'm having trouble peeing, and I have to sit down in order to pee. So I may, during the program, have to say to my citizen panel, will you excuse me for a few minutes while I go and attempt to evacuate? But we'll see if I can get through the whole period of time without having to do that. Because I've medicined myself up. They've doubled my dose of what they call Flomax. And you don't want to hear anything about that. You want to hear about the whole Michigan thing. I hate it, I hate it because I'm getting old. I'm hating it because, I didn't get things like this, right? Luckily, I didn't get it earlier, okay? So I guess I have something to be thankful for. Anyways, also, if I get tired, it's because this Flomax lowers your blood pressure, and she said, well, double the dose. So I doubled the dose, and just before I went on, and it may just so lower my blood pressure that I'll go, I'll pass out on you. So anyway, no one wants to hear about that. Listen, I'll tell you what they do want to hear about, though. There are certain things in our life which to all of us is kind of a constant. One of them is Facebook. Most of us have a Facebook account. Why? We have no idea. Do we like it? I know nobody who actually likes and loves Facebook. Do you know anybody who loves Facebook? No. Why do I have an account? Just so I can tell people, hey, we're not going on tonight. We're going on tomorrow night. Here's something I want you to listen to. I'm posting last night's show. That's the reason I got a Facebook account. And occasionally you feel with your Facebook account that you might be able to do some good with it. And, I've had a friend, and his name is Will Durst, and you know him quite well because he's been a regular on this program, at least until last October, when all of a sudden he was about to go on stage, and he had a stroke. Now, some people have a stroke and they're ready to go the next day. I was seeing a documentary the other night on Jacques Pepin, the French cooking expert who did a lot of TV and wrote a lot of great books about the art of chopping stuff up. And just before he was supposed to go to an 80th birthday party in New York, a big fete they were holding for him, he had a stroke. Now, he was lucky. He had the stroke when he was having dinner with his internist and his cardiologist, okay? So they knew immediately what to do, got him to a hospital, and he was fine enough that he actually said, I'll fly to New York, and the doctors said, look, you don't want to do any flying. You just had a stroke, okay? And then after that, he was pretty much the same as he always was, okay? That's some strokes. Other strokes affect different parts of your body. And in the case of Will Durst, it affected his ability to use his right arm, according to Debbie, and his right leg. So he can't walk, right, without assistance, and he doesn't have this hand to use, which to me is the most important hand because, Anyway, I'll get into that later. This was really a major stroke, okay? And, of course, I worried about him, and, of course, Debbie worried about him, and he was in the hospital for God, I don't know how long. It was last October this happened, and it wasn't just till recently that they put him in a rehabilitative facility. For weeks, he was hanging on. They had drains in his brain and all kinds. I mean, all kinds of stuff. But he got past that, and now he's in the rehabilitative stage. And I'm gonna read to you from Debbie's GoFundMe page, okay? And the reason I'm going to read from it is so that you can see what she says about the situation. She says, Debbie Durst here. As many of you know, Will had a stroke last October. 5 months later, Will needs further therapy in a facility that can cater to his current needs. There's no insurance coverage available to pay for this expense. We have immediate need of financial assistance to make sure Will can stay at this facility and receive the appropriate amount of care so he can recover and eventually return home. He is totally dependent on assistance at this point and will not regain further use of his left arm or leg without this intensive therapy. And then she goes on to talk about how he was an important voice in the community, and, you know, we all love Will. She doesn't really have to do that sales point, but nice of her to do it. So, and then the goal was $50,000, and that was met in like 2 days. That's how well loved this guy is. And she raised the goal to $65,000. I gave what I could. You know, I'm on a fixed income to begin with, and secondly, I'm not trying to make excuses here. I have quite a few expenses myself regarding this whole prostate cancer thing, which not every penny of it is taken care of by insurance. There are certain co-pays and yearly deductibles and things like that. So by the time you're through, yeah, you know, there's a lot of out of pocket. So I can't afford a lot, but I sent what I could. And then I thought about it, and I said, well, maybe I can't send as much as I would like, but I can do something, I think, for him. And I went online to my Facebook page, and I put a link to her GoFundMe page, a link to her GoFundMe page, and I then told people, please, you know, if you love the guy, I've got 5,000 people who look at this page. If all of you would give some money, she'd be well over the top on this deal. So see what you can do, okay? All right. So, all right. So that was that, or so we thought, okay? So I put it up, and within a few days, there was a huge outpouring from my people to the thing, and I think maybe I somewhere maybe raised maybe $5,000, help raise $5,000 of the money, and right now she's over the $65,000. And by the way, you can still go to it. Go to my GoFundMe and then just put in search Will Durst, and you'll find it right there. And whatever you can give, you know, $10. Some people have done 10. A couple of people did $5,000. Okay, and I wish that I were working and I was doing great and all of that. I would certainly not, for a moment, think that I shouldn't give a lot more than I did. But there were people that gave $5,000. There were people that gave $10. You know, but every penny helps. And now with that other $15,000 that she added onto there, they can put a stair lift, you know, one of these things that goes up the stairs, so he can get from the first floor to the second floor of their house in San Francisco. And there are other things I've got to make some alterations to the bathroom and so on. But according to her, this is a lot of the money they need. But I think they need more than that, okay? I mean, this is going to be a long haul. And, you know, when you're doing physical therapy and things like that, and you're in a place that does it, how far is $50,000 going to get you? So I'm once again pleading to you to, if you haven't done so already, to go out there and go to, let me see here. Let me see if I can put a picture of the the page up. Where do I have it here? I have the page. I have it somewhere here, or I had it here. Well, I guess I don't any longer. Let me, oh, wait a minute, hold on a second. There we are, here it is, okay. Let me see here if I can go to it here. Let me go to the screen here so that you can see what it looks like. You just go to GoFundMe and go to Will Durst, okay, just up in the searches right up there, folks. And you put in Will Durst, and then you donate. It's very simple. You go donate now, and it asks you what you want to use. I think you can actually use things like, well, you can use any credit card, and you can usually use what's the PayPal. I think you can use too, and you can donate. And they ask you to give an extra $10. I guess that's what GoFundMe gets or whatever. And donate what you can. That's all I'm saying. And make sure those two people have a happy rest of their lives together. Okay, I feel so bad about this because Will has been a regular on this show every 3 weeks for the last 3 or 4 years, and he's an old friend of mine, and he worked with me a lot and did shows with me a lot, and I absolutely love and adore the guy, and I adore her too. She's just and one of the funniest people alive, I might add. But the two of them are just two wonderful people. And to show how much they're loved, I mean, if you look here, there have been 550 donors so far. Okay, look at that, 550 donors. And there are 2,000 shares and 549 followers. So, folks, if you can, go to GoFundMe and then look up Will Durst, and it'll come right up and make some kind of donation if you can. But now that's not what is bothering me. Okay, so I put that thing up. I put a link to it on my Facebook page, and I get a thing from Facebook, and I got to get this up here. Let me see here so I can read it to you. And it says, your post goes against our community standards, and you can see it. And I go view Facebook, so I go to view that, okay? And what do we come up with, folks? Okay, let me once again put the screen up. Wait a minute, screen, there we go. See? That's what I got. Your post goes against our community standards on spam. No one else can see your post. Now, it's funny because for days, people have been able to see that post, right? Because obviously, a lot of them wrote in and said, done, I paid for it, I did that, and it says, am I on YouTube yet? Yes, I am on YouTube. Yes, I am. Phil Meyer says, are you on YouTube yet? Yes, of course I'm on YouTube. I'm looking right now at me on YouTube. Okay, see, I just showed everybody. Everybody, you can see that I'm there on YouTube. Okay, anyway. So anyway, where were we? Oh, yeah. So anyway, I know, then people wrote, done, and I saw a lot of names of people I know who were giving money to them and so on and so forth. And it's no real, it's terrific, So obviously, they were still allowing it to be done, or maybe they stopped it on like Sunday or something like that. And I was just livid, okay? And I was livid because, I was trying to do something nice for somebody, and I was trying to help somebody out, and so I have a link to something, and all of a sudden they're saying, you can't do that because that's not the kind of spam we will allow on, I then put this up on my Facebook page, along with what they wrote. And people wrote me back. I've since taken it off because I don't need to use it any longer. But I've since taken it off. And it was, for the most part, people writing me back saying, I had the same thing happen to me. There were like 20 or 30 of these things. Same thing happened to me, and I just put up a link to like coronavirus hints and things like that. And I'm going, what's going on here? So finally somebody put this up, Facebook is blocking users from posting some legitimate news articles about the novel coronavirus and what appears to be a bug in its spam filters. I can still be monetized, I think, if I use the finger. On Tuesday, multiple Facebook users reported on Twitter that they found themselves unable to post articles from certain news outlets, including Business Insider, BuzzFeed, The Atlantic, and the Times of Israel. It's not clear exactly what had gone wrong, and Facebook did not respond to a request for comment. In the face of the mounting COVID-19 pandemic, Facebook has sent many of its content moderators home, saying it will rely more on an automated software instead. Alex Stamos, an outspoken former Facebook security executive, speculated that the shift might be to blame. It looks like an anti-spam rule at Facebook is going haywire, he wrote on Twitter. Facebook sent home content moderators yesterday who generally can't work from home due to privacy commitments the company has made. We might be seeing the start of MI machine learning going nuts with a less human oversight. Facebook, however, denied that the bug was related to any changes to its content moderator. Why were people like, it wasn't just me with my thing. I found it was people who were, they just made a link to some other page. People do that all the time on Facebook. But Facebook won't admit that anything's wrong. I'd dump Facebook in a second, and the only reason I don't dump Facebook is because it's a way of me to communicate in general with my audience. And that's the only reason I still have it. Plus, I have 5,000 people. I have the maximum. So if I kill it, I lose all those 5,000 people. But maybe I shouldn't give it crap, It just makes me mad, okay? And what makes me worse mad is not that this happened, but and if it was some kind of a glitch in their system, okay, I'm going to give them that, but not admitting that there's a glitch in their system, that's the problem. That's what I think is all wrong, okay? And I just find it, bizarre, to say the least. And it pisses me off. I've got better things to do with my life than have to deal with these douchebags. Can I say that? Is that, or will that make me not monetized? By the way, I've had a problem with YouTube because I put up two. If you ever go to my YouTube listings, you will see that there's the same show twice, and the reason it's there are two of them. One says live from YouTube. Okay, that's a version of the program that is recording at YouTube right now. When I'm through doing this show, it automatically posts that. I am also making a copy of the show, which is sans all the commercials that I run at the beginning, all the promos and everything, that I also put on Facebook as well. So basically, they're two identical shows. And sometimes they go, cannot be monetized, and then on the same show, in the other version, it says it can be monetized. And you go, wait, what's going on here? This doesn't make any sense at all. So for the longest time, I've been trying to get a hold of somebody at Facebook to tell me what the hell's going on. And they've been nice enough. Finally, I found somebody. And they wrote me back and told me that that they're working on it and that they understand the problem is thanks for your input and so on and so forth. We skimmed through your content, and you're right, it's the same exact content as you mentioned, almost the same exact time. And we really appreciate, it says, now I know your main question is about these two videos having different results despite having the same contents. I forward this over to our internal team for another set of review. I will get back to you as soon as we hear from them. I really appreciate your patience as well as we work this out for you. Please let us know if there are any other questions. Fern. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. And it's good to know that that's at least being taken care of. So we'll hope we get some kind of an interesting answer out of that, because it's every night I have to ask for a review, and then they review it and they go, oh yeah, it's okay. And I'm thinking, I'm getting tired of all these machines they have that supposedly listen to the shows as they're being done and then flag them. And it's not a human being flagging them. It's just, whatever. So anyway, let's see. I got one out about an hour and 5 minutes to go. Let's see if I can go that whole hour without having to run out into the next room and peeing, okay? In which case, you guys are going to have to do the show for me. But I just put us up, okay? So I just put Skype up, and we're ready to go here. So anybody who wants to call can do so. And please, again, if you get a chance, and you haven't done so already, send what you can to Will and Debbie, and what's worse, Will is in this rehab center, right? And she can't visit him now. Why? San Francisco's on lockdown. In fact, I'm talking to Bubs tomorrow. I'm going to get to talk to him about this lockdown. Let's see here. Oh, look who's there in what is appearing to be let me see here. First of all, let me just get him here. Let me put him up. Go here. There we go. Rob Alfano is the first one up, and he looks like he's in his studio that he's building, right?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear. Talk a little louder.
A little bit.
Yeah, you have a little bit of some problem there.
I know. I don't know what it is.
Oh, hey, it's cool now. It's sounding great now.
Well,
So,
there's a lot of work to be done in here.
yeah. It probably has to do more with there seems to be like you're over modulating slightly or something like that.
Well, and that's the weird thing, because I have played with this 6 ways from Sunday.
Yeah.
And I, when you go in and you select what you want your mic to be,
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't be selecting microphone. I should be selecting the output of this board, but it doesn't work that way. I don't know why yet.
Yeah.
No, and I have it on the lowest possible setting that I could have it on. Is that better if I lower the board?
Lower just a little more.
How's that?
Yeah, that's fine. You're fine. I mean, we can hear you fine. It's a little on the bassy side,
Yeah, I don't have the mic processor set up yet. I need an attenuator that's coming in the mail. It'll be here this weekend.
Yeah. So but once you're set up, it's going to be wonderful, and maybe we can hear your voice again.
Look at this mess.
Huh?
I'll show you quickly around. So this is the good part.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see. That's the good part.
Yeah.
And this is all the stuff that has to be set up yet.
Wow.
Look at the mess on the floor.
Oh God. Yeah. I know doing that because I've been through that in my lifetime. I'll tell you that right now. I've been through that kind of mess where you have to reset everything up. And let me see here. There we go. Here we've got Charlene Martinez there. So anyway, so you're getting your studio up and running, and once you do, boy, have I got a number of promos that need redoing. I ran across one tonight. Every now and then I'll play something I hadn't played in a while. I go, oh, I'll play that one. I went to You Love GABNet, and they go. And it goes, yes, and on such and such, you can see Alex Bennett's Ramble on Friday nights when he does video. And I went, well, that's too old, Yeah. Hello to Phil. Hello to Charlie. Hello to Charlene. Yeah. So, how are you all doing in your various bailiwicks? Are you surviving, Charlie?
Yeah, just what do you say? Surviving in place or whatever you call it. I'm just staying in the house.
You haven't gone out at all? Have you gone shopping or?
I went out and got the mail.
You went down and got the mail. Did you wear a mask?
Nope.
Oh, okay. All right.
I never saw a person.
You
Nobody.
It was really nice today. I had to have my super come up and fix something here in the apartment. And he said, "Oh, wait a minute. Let me go get something. I'll be back." And he came back with two of the harder masks, not the soft ones. And I went, "Wow, that's great. That's terrific." And we thanked him for him, and he went and got them for us. And then we went to see. I asked Marjorie. I said, "Where did he get those from? I mean, did they supply them to him in his?" Let me see here. I'm trying to figure out. That's probably what that one is. That's probably. Yeah, there's Jeff Seller. Hi, Jeff. Where did he get them? And she said, "Oh, he has tons of them downstairs." I said, "What? Did the building send them to him for the coronavirus?" She said, "No, they use them when they're plastering and doing stuff like that and don't want to inhale dust." So we've got a couple of really we have like 4 of those harder, masks. Now, the question that came up was, do you clean them after you've been out?
Can you?
I suppose you could probably use like hand sanitizer on them or something. Or, do they need to be cleaned?
How long are you supposed to use them for?
I don't know. I've only been out once, and I used the little, the one the dentist uses, those masks. And I didn't even, and we were just wearing them because they were fun to wear, But today, I understand some people have been outside say a lot of people are wearing masks now. It's becoming kind of part of the new normal, are wearing the masks. Which I wish people had been doing long before this, because in other countries, when somebody has a cold and they go to work or they go out, they put on a mask. He said we've been joined by Alan Kroger. Let me see here. Let me see here. I gotta find him though. Let me see here. What name are you using there? Here we go. Here we go. Kroger. There we go. Where are you? You kind of look like the Phantom of the Opera. Where the hell are you?
I'm in the car.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Remember me?
Oh, yeah, of course, of course.
Maybe I can turn the light on. Maybe it's better off.
Mm-hmm. Where are you coming from or going to?
Let's see. I used to be in Yorktown. Hi, Phil. And now I'm in Croton. On Hudson.
Okay, and how is life out in Croton these days with the new normal?
Yeah, well, new normal's good. That describes it accurately. Let's see. I'm one of these work-at-home people, and that's boring as hell, of course. But I've got a lot of phone calls because I work in the mental health field. So I'm talk.
Yeah.
Talk.
Yeah. How do you think this is going to affect mental health?
Oh, it'll probably be even better, because I'm sure we're all losing our minds being home and all that.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm talking about what since you're in the mental health field, what do you feel this whole thing is going to do to the mental health of America?
Oh, I think it's going to be quite interesting. we are born to live in interesting times. You know what I mean? So, and we're cursed by a person that we have right now.
Right now, I wish it were boring times. Okay, I could take a little bit of boring. Yes, Charlene.
Has everyone gone for a haircut?
No, and I probably won't.
I just ordered a pair.
Either, not until it's
45
over.
days, right?
I just ordered a pair of clippers. One of those buzz.
Slowbee, yeah.
One of those wall. Just because I'm not going to sit there.
I think I'm going to do that and have Marjorie cut my hair. She has offered to cut my hair. Women always like to cut men's hair. Ever since Delilah, they've liked doing that.
Those wall things are for manscaping.
No. This is one. I get a haircut. I do the number 2 on this. I always tell them the same thing. Number 2, number 5.
Yeah. With this is a number 1 actually. I do.
So you just get
Out
the
here in New
things with the
Jersey.
numbers and you just do it.
Well, and the reason I do a number one is I did a number two before I came on the air here, but the reason I do a number one is that I figure I don't have to go back to the barber as often, and it doesn't matter with me, who am I trying to fool, right?
Why don't you just use a big razor or something, or
Well,
just
you can do that after you use the other thing to take care of it, But
I think that would get itchy unless you really did a good job of manscaping once you cut it that low.
yeah. So let me see here. I got to find a web head. There it is. Okay, there we go. There's where are we? Your camera isn't on. Your camera isn't on.
Oh, it isn't?
Tony, no.
Hold on.
Yeah, turn it on so we can see.
Where's
you.
that wallpaper?
it off. We don't see the wallpaper.
Yeah, if we don't see the wallpaper,
Alan,
yes,
Strange.
Charlene.
it was really weird. Like it started in Hoboken because, like in New York, they just said all nail salons and hair salons are closed, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in New Jersey, it started that Hoboken closed the hair and the nail salons first. So everywhere else it was open. So then it started yesterday that like only certain counties, like only certain nail salons and hair salons. So today I had a nail appointment because I have a standing nail appointment.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my God, I hope
They don't let you
cancel
sit?
it because I want to get it done. I just made it. After I got tomorrow, nobody will get their nails done.
Charlene,
My
your nail appointments, you got to stand. You can't sit when they do.
No, they call it a standing, like, that you have one every, week or every 2 weeks or something like
Okay.
that.
Are you having trouble, Tony? We don't have a
Yeah, I'm
picture?
having trouble. Can I call you back?
Yeah, just call us
Must
back.
be. It's the virus.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway,
But it's crazy. The other county, in Manalapan County,
mhm.
now you can, the guy's flouting it, the other guy that I know from New York.
Yeah.
He's supposed to not be open, but he's going to do it anyway, I guess. He says that I don't know, he's going to be open anyway.
Yeah.
But he could be in big trouble, I guess, if he gets, I don't know. He's going to do it anyway, open his doors and do haircuts.
Yeah. Al's got his indoor lights on now in his car. And yeah.
Oh, yeah, there he is, eating.
I went into work today to, receive merchandise, and the store is closed, the showroom's closed, but we're doing installations. I did more business today on the phone than I did last week. So I don't know what's going on. Everybody else is closed. I answer my phone, and because I do that, people are, hey.
But
can I
who
walk
goes?
this?
We're in the
What
middle.
it is, don't you? People are stuck in their house and they're looking at their horrible carpet.
I was trying to figure out a reason, but I think you came up with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see.
Sick of looking at this. I got
Yeah.
new carpet in here.
Yeah.
I took a picture of a sample. I texted it to the lady. She says, "That's fine. I'll take that."
Okay. Wait a minute. We got Tony. We got Tony.
There he is.
Look at that. There we got Tony now.
Oh, this one?
Yeah. Oh God, there's the wallpaper. Oh good. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, Sibby Itty is calling us. Oh, I haven't heard from Sibby in a long time. Let's see here. Let's go put him in the number 8 spot. All right, here we go. Let me see
How are you,
here.
folks?
I'm trying to figure out which one he is. Now there he is, all the way at the bottom. Sibby Sibs, it says. And there you go. There's Sibby Itty. Itty is Sibby.
And he's not at the office.
No, I'm home.
He's home. Yeah. So, how you doing, Sibby? You're out on the island. You're out in Long Island, right?
Yeah, I know it's pretty crazy here. All the grocery places are all ransacked. People are not going out, staying home.
They're not
renting
ransacked
it all.
because people are rioting. They're ransacked because people are just buying everything off the shelves.
Can you
Thinking-
get meat where you live? Because we can get toilet paper now, but we can't get meat.
Yeah, I heard no chicken.
Shecky said he was in Costco day before yesterday, and he said they had lots of toilet paper. There wasn't a problem at all with toilet paper. Oh boy,
There
here
shouldn't
comes.
be any problem for toilet papers because toilet papers are predominantly made in America. It's a local product. It's not going to run out of stock.
Full house.
If we do this, this is going to be a full house, right? So I need to go to let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. Okay, I got it, and we're going to put.
9
Let's
plus
see.
you is 10.
Well, I know that. Hold on a second. Let me just. I'm trying to. Who just called? Kevin just called. Okay, wait a minute. Hog Rider. There we go. Okay, and then I do a little transition, and we have a full house, ladies and gentlemen. Bravo. Thank you. Actually, I should make this thing up so it only goes to a full house and not goes beyond that, or to a what do you call it? What's the other one?
Royal Flush.
Royal Flush, yeah.
Royal Flush.
But it just looks, there's too many empty spaces in there, you know. But anyway, let me see here. So first of all, Al, where are you again? Where do you live again?
I'm Croton on the Hudson in New York. That's northern part of Westchester.
Yeah. How crazy is it up there? I mean, are you all out of ass wipe?
Well, some places are, some aren't. I'm amazed at I did a little junior commute this morning, and I'm like, there was no traffic on the roads at all.
Al,
Really?
you're pretty close to New Rochelle, maybe, 20 minutes?
We got caught off.
Yeah, 30 minutes, Bill. Yeah, about. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, wait a minute, Tony. If you can hear me, mute your mic if you're going to be talking somewhere else.
We're on breakfast. I got to help her in the bathroom.
Okay, well, mute yourself because we don't want to hear your mother fart.
All right.
Okay, all right.
Almost from the train.
Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, and they got the drive-through testing things in Long Island and New Rochelle, and
Oh yeah, there are tons of those.
Danbury, too.
where?
Danbury Hospital.
Oh, and Connecticut.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty close
Yeah,
to me.
did you see Trump today when he was asked by one of the reporters, why is it that reports are coming out that people with a lot of money are able to get these testing kits? And he said, well, that's just the way things are.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
What?
You mean
What?
for the,
You
That's one of
privileged
the most
prick.
honest things he's ever said.
you mean for the Chinese flu?
For the Chinese
For the
flu,
Chinese
right?
flu.
Hey,
Right.
Call it the Spanish flu. They're not all up in arms saying they're being discriminating.
Actually,
and-
the Spanish flu didn't start in
you
Spa-
wait a few days and see where that one goes.
I don't know why they called it the Spanish flu. I'm trying to remember now because it didn't start in Spain. It started in the United States.
Well, maybe with a Spanish guy.
Yeah.
You're the only one old enough to know what happened.
Really? It was 100 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, Spanish flu in
Get away with it.
1918. Yeah.
19? Yeah.
God forbid a Jewish guy starts a flu.
Yeah.
Yeah, New Rochelle. It was the guy who went to Temple and contaminated everybody in New Rochelle. But
Yeah, well, you know what's going to happen there.
I've been watching a new news station, and this whole thing's a hoax just to get us to go inside our houses.
No, you're watching Alex Jones's channel? Is that what you're watching?
Yeah.
Oh.
So let me tell you my story today about taking advantage of the over 60 early hour shopping.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
So I go to Target this
Yeah.
morning. My wife says, "Oh, you can go an hour, at 8:00 this morning and go get some Lysol and stuff at Target." So I get my ass up and go down to Target, and she's on her way to work at 7:30, and she sends me a text and says, "There's a line out in front of Target," as I was driving by, and I go, "Oh, crap." So I wait a few minutes, wait till about 8:15, and it's right around the corner here, about a mile away. And I drive down there about 8:15. I got to pick up a prescription anyway,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not open till 9. And so I go down there, and I park in my parking spot. And when I pull up, there's a line just sticking outside the door. And I figure, okay, they're only letting 25 or 50 people in there or something at a time. So I'll wait to get in and do my thing. And I get in there, and the manager's at the door. And I said, he said, "What are you here for?" And I said, "Well, I'm just here to pick up some groceries, and I was going to see if you guys had some hand sanitizer and some Lysol." And he says, "Oh, we got hand sanitizer right here behind the return counter. Come with me." And so they got this locked up thing back behind the return counter where the hand sanitizer is. And I said, "Oh, cool. I've been looking for it for like 2.5 weeks. I figure I'd get me a bottle and I'd be fine." And he goes back there and there's nothing in there. So I said, "Okay, well, that's fine. You know, I'm not worried about it. You got any Lysol?" And he says, "Oh, yeah, that's over there." And there's this line that goes all the way to the back of the store. And so I go, "You mean that line there?" And he says, "Yeah, that's for toilet paper and chemicals." I said, "Well, what about hand sanitizer?" He says, "Oh, that's special. That goes up here, but there's none left." And I said, "Okay, so you got Clorox wipes and Lysol in that toilet paper line, right?" And he says, "Yeah." I said, "Ah, shit, I got half hour to kill till the pharmacy is open. I'll just stand on the stupid line."
Yeah.
So I go all the way back in this line, stand there for 15, 20 minutes. I get all the way back there, and they've got this line for a little pack, a 6-pack of toilet paper, and, you know, paper towels, and a little 12-piece thing of hand wipes, and then bathroom wipes. And she goes, "What do you want, toilet paper or paper towels?" And I said, "I don't want toilet paper or paper towels. I'm looking for Lysol and Clorox wipes." "Oh, we don't have that."
Oh, boy.
And I said, "What?" And she goes, "Do you want bathroom wipes or hand wipes?" And I said, "Well, what are those?" A little thin thing is hand wipes, and then there was a thicker one that said bathroom wipes. And I figured, okay, I'll take the bathroom wipes because they're thicker, and I can use them to wipe down the bathroom after standing in this line. I'm going to get bathroom wipes.
Yeah.
So I take the bathroom wipes and walk away, and I look at the package. Dude wipes. You know what dude
Your
wipes
ass.
are?
Those are for your ass.
They're butt wipes.
Yeah.
For men.
Thing, isn't it?
It says on the back, directions.
You must be a dude.
Grab one, wipe, dude.
Does it say that?
It says it right there.
They gotta say,
It says it right there.
Who comes up with
They're
this?
ass wipes for dude. And I said, how the hell am I going to wipe down the wall in my bathroom with this shit?
Well, no, there's no shit on there because you haven't wiped your butt with your dude wipes.
Yeah, so I take it home to my daughter and I go, okay, well, we got these.
Oh boy!
What a waste!
Wow. Well, I
So
haven't.
that was
I haven't
my
even
over
gone.
60 line
I
today.
haven't even gone to Costco, or as I'm now thinking of it, the Petri dish.
Yeah.
I would, and I do have my
I'm paranoid now.
my face masks and things like that, and I could probably survive it okay. But also, I mean, it's got to be a madhouse in there,
Yeah.
And if I just wait a week, I'm sure this is going to let up. I mean, right now, this is the people are planning for the apocalypse.
I get enough
So-
food for like 3 weeks.
So I'm walking around the aisles just looking for, some pasta or something like that to kill time for the RX to open up. And I'm looking in the cases where the milk is and everything else, and it's gone. And the iced tea, the new leaf iced tea is in jugs, and there's like 1 or 2 jugs in there, and they have been sitting in there so long that they've frozen up and they're blowing open.
Give me those jugs.
And I'm going, are you kidding
Well,
me?
Marjorie
These
went over to
people are nuts.
Fairway, which is a major food market here in New York that she loves. And all she could come back with was 3 things of pasta sauce and some ravioli. And what else did she get? A few other little things. But, there were shelves that were empty. Just empty.
Yeah, I honestly thought it was
Oh,
the Armageddon, and I'm just walking around going, okay,
Well,
what's left?
Well, nobody said food isn't going to exist after a certain point. And you know what I'm thinking of doing? I'm thinking of starting, even though it's going to cost me money, ordering out for food. Because most of the restaurants in the neighborhood are still serving food. It's just it's for takeout, or if you want to order it. Or as I showed yesterday, The Popeyes, for instance, it's all for pickup, you know.
Well, those people are going to be hurting
Takeout.
too.
Huh? Oh yeah, but it's for takeout, and they have like caution tape around all the tables so you can't sit at them.
It's like a murder scene.
It's like a murder scene. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Have you
saw
seen
that-
the-
Which at
have you
our
seen the,
Popeyes in our neighborhood could be a murder scene. We don't
That is
know,
true.
you know, unless we see an actual outline on the floor. We figure it's just caution tape.
Yeah,
It's
if you've
gonna
seen
be
the
fun.
Darden stock, it's gone from 120 down to 30.
The what stock?
Darden, they own Olive Garden and Red Lobster and those kind of
Really?
restaurants.
Oh wow.
That's going to be hard to recover from.
Gee, my side is hurting me. What from? Ugh, I'm having all kinds of weird things lately. Anyway, yeah. So I'm having
It's
it.
going to be rough for those people.
Yeah. Oh, listen. I mean, I'll tell you. Here's what I hate. Okay. Today I'm listening to Trump again. I'm not going to bash Trump. He's our president at a time of great crisis, and we have to depend on him. But he's going on and on about how we have to save the airlines, how we have to save what was the other thing beside the airline?
Cruise lines and the hotels.
The
and
cruise
everything else.
lines, and I'm thinking, screw them.
I haven't taken a cruise yet in my whole life. I don't
You
care
know,
if they go out
screw
of
them to
business.
begin with. Cruise lines, for the most part, have been the greatest petri dish for diseases known to mankind. Am I right, Sibby? You just
Legionnaires.
went, yeah.
Remember the Legionnaires' disease? That was one of the first ones that they got.
Well, that started at a hotel. That one.
Legionnaires.
Yeah, they wound up getting it on a cruise ship as well, but it started in Philadelphia at a hotel.
Yeah, they typically started underneath air conditioners.
And I think they call it Legionnaires' disease because it became apparent during a Legionnaires' convention at this hotel.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That was the first one.
There you go.
But I don't care about the goddamn, cruise ships. I don't care about the airlines. Come on, they're big boys. If they can build those big, giant, humongous cruise ships that really just are too big to even float, right? Then for crying out loud, if you can afford to build those, you can afford a little downtime, okay? And if you can't, then you're not running a good business there.
Hey, I am royalty on cruise lines. I won the silver medal on the Royal Caribbean belly flop contest. And
Yeah, but you missed the pool and you hit the ocean, but the water went out of the ocean. So
it was the pool.
And everybody got the bet. Imagine he jumps in the pool, the water hits everybody, everybody's a scatter.
No,
Get the Lysol out.
I had never, my friend Shecky, as you know, Shecky,
He loves the
he
cruise. I'm
loves
afraid of
cruises.
him.
He loves cruises. Although he hasn't been going on them lately, but he loves cruises. And he's done some pretty exotic ones. That's where I'm jealous. He just did one where he went to Antarctica.
Yeah, that looked
Right?
really nice, but he said it was really long, Alex.
And he says penguins crap like crazy.
Oh,
He says
really?
there's nothing but crap all over the place because they don't care where they go.
Well, you gotta go.
But anyway, and he loves those cruises. And he said, "Come on, you join me on a cruise." He says, "I always book a room for two, and you can come on one of the cruises." And I go, "Well, yeah, maybe I'll think about it." And the reason I'm thinking about it is I don't want to go on a cruise because I'm stuck on a boat with a bunch of people I don't want to be stuck on a boat with.
Cruise- Nice. I like cruises.
I do too.
And no way out.
No way out. If you're not having a good time, you're stuck.
That is true.
Never
Yes.
not had a good
Unless it's
time.
exotic.
Yes, Al. Did you have your hand up, Al?
No, I didn't.
Oh, I thought you had your hand up.
Things to do on a cruise. There's a million things to do. I worked on a cruise ship when my father had the Port of New York as a customer, and the Greek line ships were one of the shipping companies that we used to change the carpet on. And so they'd come into port, we'd start changing the carpet, and if we weren't done, we went to the first stop was Hamilton, Bermuda, and then they'd fly us back. And I tell you something, I had a great time on that. Now, I've gone on a couple of cruises. I went in the Mediterranean. I tell you,
Okay,
it's
so
like-
naysayer in the group here, why should we care about the cruise ships right now?
Yeah, what are they really
Why should that be
aiming
why should that be a priority with us, as it seems to be with Mr. Trump?
it employs a lot of people. It brings a lot of revenue into
I'll bet you the restaurants in New York City employ more people than the whole cruise ship business combined.
So
Can
here,
you imagine the dining in Manhattan going out the window now? Holy shit.
Yeah. So what's he doing to save the restaurants here in New York? Yes, Al.
I'm thinking that what you just said about all the restaurant business, that's like one of the biggest employers across the United States, for God's sakes, anymore. I mean, they're saying the whole industry is probably out the door.
Well, if it's not out the door, the people who work in them certainly are.
Yeah.
There you go.
And now the president's going to send out, what, $1,000 to all of us or something?
You can't even pay rent with that.
Apparently, he can't even be original. I think Andrew Yang had that idea during the campaign, if I'm not mistaken.
month, not just.
Are we getting 2 or 1?
I hear we're getting 2 now. We keep on.
Yeah, but am I going to get one?
I
No,
don't know.
Why?
You'll
you're
get
not working.
No, but it's not like he's saying you have to make a claim, okay? Or it's not like he says, okay,
George Bush, wasn't it? It was George Bush said, I don't know.
Everybody who wants to go get unemployment, we will subsidize the states for the unemployment during this period of time, something like that. No, it's just, I mean, I guess you're going to get a check, right? It's like Oprah. You're going to get a check, Kevin, and you're going to get a check, Tony, and you're going to get a check, Sibby. You're going to get a check, Phil. Yes, Kevin.
Well, Rob was in front of me. Go ahead, Rob.
I was going to say, I wonder if anybody's looking back at any of the videos from the past when Obama bailed out the car companies and the banks and everybody else, because now Trump's just giving money away to everybody to bail them all out. I wonder if Trump had come out and said, oh, you shouldn't have done that and all that. So it'll be interesting to see if any of that surfaces.
By the way, just for your information, your mic sounds terrific right now. Rob.
Oh?
Yeah, sounds great.
That bailout thing was different. This is going directly to people that are not getting a paycheck.
No. He isn't saying that.
Every American.
The cruise lines?
No, I'm talking about people getting $1,000.
Everybody, Phil.
Everybody's getting it, Phil.
Yeah, but people right now need money. They're in their homes. They can't go out. They have to. I'm not making
any more money, less money now than I was making before, because I live on Medicare and my after pension. All right, and secondly, I'm actually saving money because I'm not going out. All right, because every time I hit the streets in New York City, it's going to cost me at least $50. Yes, Kevin.
2 points. Number one, he's encouraging a bailout of the cruise lines, yet the government's telling everybody to stay away from the restaurants, right?
Yeah.
So that's almost opposite. So that's hurting the restaurants, not helping them.
Who was it I saw? Who was it?
Right.
Yeah.
So, and then the other thing you got to think about isn't giving everybody $1,000 a socialist?
Yeah. Yep.
Isn't that kind of a socialist way to help people out?
Are you going to fall on your sword?
Isn't that funny?
Well, no, Phil. How do you feel about that? Isn't that socialistic?
I think that you have to do what's necessary.
Phil.
Okay.
Oh, Phil.
Not necessary.
But if it's socialistic, then it must be communistic, according to you, Phil.
Just saying.
I'm looking for the thing there.
Boy, I love how he diverts when we got him. You know, I'm looking something up here. Oh, okay, good.
You're so black or white. It's not it's not black and white. No, right now people are in trouble and something has to be done.
It's gray right now because he hasn't issued it yet.
There's another bill that says that employers with less than 500 people are going to have to pay the salaries of people that are that can't work. And
yeah, that's another socialist response too, right? They're gonna help the people out with FMLA. They're going to pay for
2 weeks. I think.
people's medical for the testing. That's a socialist response too, I think.
Yeah.
Well, right now we have
That's great.
a disaster, and when in a disaster, you need.
I see. Oh, I see. Then
Damn,
in a
Republicans are going
disaster,
socialist.
you need socialism.
No,
Republican commies.
You can call it what you want, but it's called help for people
Oh,
that need.
I see. Well, that's
how
what
come when the Republicans
that's
do
what
it,
Medicare is.
help?
That's what Social Security is. That's what single-payer health care would be.
You might take a mother's Mohegan Sun.
Let me ask you something. Your friend Biden, he said that how come
He's
Italy,
not my friend, by the way. I don't know him personally, and
Italy had the very high amount of deaths and people, and they've got single payer health care. So, well, how come it's not working there? Tough guy.
Yeah, Republican socialist.
It's not working here.
That's different, Phil. That's because their medical system's overwhelmed. That has nothing to do with who's going to pay for it.
Wait to see how ours gets.
Yeah, this is going to crush our healthcare here with the
wait till our
Healthcare is no different than a buffet when you're full and you leave the last plate full so nobody else can get it.
I woke up this morning to under 7,000 cases. The latest report is 8,500 cases.
Wow.
Yeah, because they're testing. They're testing.
Yeah.
Trump didn't want to because
I'm saying,
numbers look bad.
it is. It's going to overwhelm our free society system, just the way it does the single payer system.
Yeah. How many?
This is unprecedented.
Yeah. How many deaths? There. You can
We
report.
just hit over 100 deaths, I think.
Right.
We would have more deaths because people can't afford it.
by the way, in Italy, the death toll, what do you call it? The amount of people that have it is like 31,000. There've been 31,000 cases, and there've been 3,000 deaths. That's a 10% death rate.
That's scary now. That's scary.
That's because they don't have they don't have enough ventilators. They have to decide who gets and that has nothing to do with it being single payer. That has to do with the size of their medical system.
That's the big worry.
Equipment.
Here. Don't have enough equipment.
I heard that once you go on one of those ventilators, it's all over. As far as usually you die on those things.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I haven't heard
We don't
that.
even have them, so we don't even get
You die if you don't get to
should
go
listen
on
to
one.
the Communist News Network. They want that.
Obviously, there's some reason why they put people on ventilators and don't say, well, don't use those. That's not going to help.
Has
Yeah.
anybody talking about Communist News Network? Has anybody seen the video of the before and after with Fox News? How
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
everybody.
Now
said-
tonight.
Wait a minute, hold on a second. Wait a minute. Let him finish. Let him
They
finish.
just want to bring Trump down, and now they're all in 6 different locations, and we're practicing social distancing. And the only one who was honest was Carlson Tucker. He's the only one who said from the very beginning that people that you voted for, that people you trust, might be taking this too lightly. He's the only one of the Fox hosts.
And by the way, it's Tucker Carlson. Unless you put a comma in there.
Carlson Tucker sounds better.
Tucker Carlson, you're here.
But he's the only one who was honest.
Yeah.
Is that his real hair, Tucker Carlson, Alex? You think?
I know. I used to be on his show every Friday.
Yeah, I used to watch it in the afternoon. You
Yeah.
were on it.
Yeah. It was okay.
He was okay. I thought he was okay on the thing. He was.
Yes. Yeah. Jeff's got his hand up. Jeff.
Yeah.
Oh, too
I
bad.
understand that the worst place to be in the United States today, because the number of people who are getting sick, is New York.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm afraid to leave the house.
Well, I'll tell you
West
what we got
Virginia
here. I'll tell you what's
0.
been bothering me today. Supposedly, our pollen count has gone up. It's allergy time, and so I'm a little heavy in the chest. I don't have any temperature. I'm just stuffy in the nose, but I'm not coughing or anything else. So I know I don't have any of the symptoms. All right, but still, it scares you. You know.
Of course.
Yeah. Somebody have his hand up there? Oh, yeah, Charlene. I see. My problem is here. I got so many people. I can't see very many of you at one time. Okay, Charlene.
Well, this is related to what Jeff said.
Mhm.
Did you see those two they're almost like battleships, like Intrepids are coming in, and they want to use the Javits Center as a hospital. That's how many people are going to get sick in New York, they think, right?
Well, I heard a great suggestion. And that was that if you want to bail out the cruise ships, then why don't we turn them into floating hospitals for the time being?
Yes.
Why don't we use them as floating hospitals?
That's a perfect quarantine. Get them on the water.
Well, I mean,
And quarantine people there.
the idea, but the thing I didn't get with the ships themselves when they had the problem with it initially was they kept them all on the ship so that those people who weren't infected were stuck there with people who were and eventually were going to get infected. So I don't know, putting them on a ship is the best idea. I don't know. I don't know. I have to go to the hospital in maybe 2 weeks to go get a CT scan. I don't know if I want to go into that bacteria-infected rat trap.
Well, the germs, you better be careful.
I moved back on my doctor's appointments till next month.
Jeff?
They're all canceling all my doctor's appointments.
Yeah, well, this is something they have to do at about a month's point so they can have a reference point on my seeds and see them. So I don't know. I don't know whether they're going to cancel it out. By the way, my trial that's coming up.
That's going
to cancel.
I'm sure it's going to get canceled.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's going to get canceled. So, I mean, all our lives are put on hold, and this could go on. They say, I'll tell you, Cuomo was on again today, and I got to tell you, I love the guy. I just think that Andrew Cuomo. Did you see him at all, Al? Did you see any of the stuff he was doing?
Yeah, I did. I've been catching it all the time. He's very impressive. He's definitely a micromanager.
He's a micromanager, and he sat there and explained everything. He explained how many beds we have now, how many we're going to need if it hits the 45-day point, all of those things. And that's
why Trump hates him so much.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, he was able to communicate in the best possible way to people, and not to make it sugarcoat it. On the other hand, he didn't want to panic you either. He said, look, he said, these are trying times and we have to get through them. And these are the things that are going to be a real problem to you, is having to put up, not seeing people you love and things like that. And he really took a very human approach. And I thought to myself, if Trump could only do that, but he's totally incapable of that because he wasn't raised that way. Yet Cuomo was raised in an Italian family, and they're all huggy and kissy, and everybody loves everybody else, and he has the human touch. And quite frankly, I think this guy should run for president. I mean, this guy would be a great president. Huh?
See, Cuomo's not 78 yet.
Yeah, so he can run.
Did his father run?
Probably that was.
He went to my nephew's high school, Alex Malloy.
Really?
Yeah, he graduated from Malloy, and I think he went to St. John's. I'm not sure.
I mean, he has just been so terrific through this. Every day I watch his little gatherings because I like what it's interesting what he has to say. Let's see here. Who's got his hand up? Is that Phil?
Phil.
Oh, I couldn't see who. Your hand was covering your face, so I couldn't see who it was. Yes, Phil.
Hey, now de Blasio said that he wanted to have a shelter in place like they have in the Bay
Shelter
Area.
in place.
Shelter.
That's it.
And so the now Cuomo said that de Blasio can't do that without state permission, and he's not giving him permission because it will be too hard on places of business.
Well, Cuomo said this yesterday in his daily debriefing. Yeah. That he's not close to the idea of that sort of thing if it gets bad enough, but right now he just feels that it would do more harm than it would do good.
Well, what puzzles me is I don't know if New York's the same as California, but how can the California 7 Bay Area counties do the shelter in place or shelter in place and the whole state not do it, but New York, it's the other way around. It's not the same deal.
Yes, there's a big difference. I think it's called something like 4 million, 5 million people, as a difference.
California is you know, I mean.
Secondly, San Francisco really has a problem with that because they have such a large homeless population.
Yeah.
They don't have to shelter in place.
Well, they
don't have a place to shelter.
They don't have a place to shelter. Yeah. So what do you do about those people?
They won't get sick.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. Right. Right.
Superman.
Sibby, everything okay out on Long Island?
I thought they did have a shelter in place, Phil.
Not for the homeless. From what I read,
the homeless are sheltering in place. They're in their shelters. That's their place. I mean, that's the way it is all the way around the Bay Area here. We have one here, and our homeless are sitting outside.
No, they're talking about, you know, living on the street type.
Well, that's their place.
Well, that's not a good place.
And that's the problem.
Yeah. It you know, I mean, this is you don't think you do agree that there is a pandemic, right, Phil?
Hoax. Yes, of course I do.
Okay. It's funny that even people who are usually naysayers of this sort of thing, oh, it's not really a pandemic, and it's not. Most people are going, yeah, it's a pandemic. You know, from everything we've heard, it has all the hallmarks of being a pandemic.
There's still some holdouts.
What we're trying to do, I'll tell you what we're doing. We're, you know, the old saying, I said this last night, called an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And this is the ounce of prevention, you know, that we have to do this now in order to stop it from spreading further. If we didn't do anything, this thing would be just amazingly deadly. And I'm frightened as an older person because I know that if it's between me and a 40-year-old getting the ventilator, they're going to give it to the 40-year-old saying, well, he's got a lot of life ahead of him, but this guy doesn't.
Unless you have enough money.
We will get you a ventilator, Alex.
You'll get me a ventilator?
You also have to remember that we're technically behind in numbers right now because the numbers we're seeing now are actually not real because we don't have the testing going on. We're way behind in the numbers. The numbers that we're seeing are just reported numbers. Mm-hmm. We don't have enough tests out yet to see. We're actually 3 or 4 days behind,
Kevin,
of what they actually are.
You don't think that the death numbers are accurate?
They're accurate to the point that what we've reported up to now, but
death numbers would probably death numbers would be more accurate because we know that somebody died of it.
Okay. Yeah, there's not enough tests in the field to give us accurate, up-to-date numbers. Once the tests get out in the field and the results are reported, then they'll be better. Well, but then we're still 4 or 5 days behind.
We're probably a couple of weeks away from
not death. You see, the death is accurate. You know that the guy died, and that's good. You just don't know what the ratio is of cases to deaths.
Yeah, but you don't know how many are
Sometimes you don't know that somebody died of it.
Yeah, that is true.
You know, they just died. They never do it. Yes, Jeff. Jeff.
Yeah, guy down the
if I died, nobody find out for 2 months.
Jeff?
A guy right down the street died the other day, but nobody knows why he died.
You know, coroner will figure that out.
Right. Nobody's going to test him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like Rob said, though, if you think about it, Phil, even like 2 weeks ago, we had 8, maybe 6 cases here, maybe in New York. Yeah. Now we're close.
But you know, here's the sad
with no tests.
Here's the sad thing. Here's the sad thing. Barack Obama, dashed I say that name in his presence, created a pandemic task force.
Yep.
To look at and see what would be done if we had a pandemic and what we would need in order to ward off a pandemic and to literally suss this whole thing out. And as soon as he got into office, the first thing Trump got rid of was that task force.
Yeah.
So the reason
we're rid of some other things first.
No, it was pretty soon. Right after that, he got rid of that particular task force. It was tasked with because everybody was saying, we don't have a pandemic right now, but it's not when it's going to if it's going to happen. It's when it's going to happen. It's sometime this is going to happen, and we have to be ready for it. And Obama put together a task force to see what we would do in order to ward off something like that. If those things had been in place today, we might still have a problem, but we'd be more capable of handling it.
See, you know what's scary? What I don't get. Let me ask this question.
Yeah.
This is where somebody has to get fired for this. Let's say now they knew in China about say 3 months ago they knew about this in China. How could we not have test kits once we knew about it over there? We should have been having test kits here already on the ground in each state so that we could test. Not that it's here, we don't have anything.
The Chinese lied. They didn't tell us what was going on. They concealed this stuff. They lied.
Yeah, so Phil, so what? So what?
And you don't know that it's coming over here, and so the amount of time
we did know about that town in China when it happened, and we knew that. But you know, the thing is, we could have had methodology in place for any pandemic that would come around, and we weren't ready for anything.
It was before Wuhan. We could have had plenty of time to do what we needed to do, and they lied to us. They set us up. And
okay, it's all the Chinese fault.
So you think the Chinese set us up?
Actually, am I right or am I wrong? But I heard the other day that it didn't start in China, that there was actually some other incidents of it somewhere else in the world first.
Harlem.
And then it got to China. You know, but it's not a question of blame. The question we have to ask ourselves in this country is, why weren't we prepared for this sort of eventuality? We knew that eventually something like this would happen. You know, we saw Ebola in Africa, and we saw other SARS in
swine flu with the birds. Remember the birds going on?
Why weren't we ready for this? You know, why weren't we ready for this eventuality? Why didn't we say we have to have a stockpile of ventilators just in case? Because, you know, ventilators aren't going to go bad on you. They'll sit there and they'll start working the minute you plug them in.
You know what's funny? We got nuclear weapons, right? What are they doing us for now? We can't kill the virus with the nukes. They know how to build that up, but we couldn't build up our health system.
Yeah, they built up a nuclear system. You're right. Very, very.
Nukes are sexy. Nukes are sexy, and pandemic not.
Yeah. You know. So I mean,
you know, I wonder what we're going to get hit with next. You know, we just had in Utah there was an earthquake. Now we've got this flu. Pretty soon there's going to be something else hitting us from the other side. You know, maybe it's time for the North Koreans to give us some help and take down our utility grid.
Yeah.
You know, the North Koreans don't have any virus. Maybe they can help us.
If they did, you would not know if they did.
By the way, worldwide, we surpassed 200,000. We're 218,000 right now.
Oh, it's going to go over 1 million.
And by the way, also the stock market went below where it was when Trump took office. So all the gains that Trump is supposedly claiming, gone.
Hey, it was my fault that the stock market did what it did.
Yeah, you voted for Trump.
In the stock market, it went down.
I invested last week.
It's going in. Everybody take their money out.
On the
now it's going in.
And now it's destroyed. Why? Yeah. Phil bought. I've been telling everybody, if I buy something, you do the opposite.
I told you not to, Phil.
I know. I have the Midas touch in reverse.
So far in Italy, there have been 2,978 deaths and 5,389 recoveries out of a total, I think, of something like over 30,000 people. That that's about a 10% death rate. That's pretty amazing.
That's high.
That's high. Here in the United States, we are at 9,345. Let me see here in the United States. Where do we go? Oh, that's Nebraska. There are only 29 in Nebraska. The U.S. 97. No, it's more than that. Why can't I? Oh, well, I don't get it.
Anyway. It was over 100. Over 100 deaths in the U.S.
Yeah, something like that. We've hit over 100 deaths. Yeah. And we've got how many?
Just in a normal flu season.
What'd you say?
We normally have during the normal flu season.
No, but the normal
mild flu season, unfortunately.
Yeah, but during a normal flu season.
Yeah, but we can't compare the two, Phil.
Why?
No, Phil. It's because of percentages of people who die as a result of the flu. The flu that we have during flu season, okay, a certain amount of people die. The percentage of that compared to all the people that get the flu is something like about 1%. All right.
Because
we're talking about a death rate of 3 or 4%.
That rate is not accurate because we don't know how many people actually have the virus because we haven't tested.
Phil, all I'm saying is go tell that to the people in Italy who say that 1 out of every 10 people who get this. Phil,
your statistic is
out the window.
No, my statistic is not wrong. The common yearly flu, people die from that. Yeah.
How many?
I don't know.
Last year,
probably more than have died so far of the
17,000.
Yeah. So.
All right.
Right now we're at let's see here. How many deaths have we had so far?
What's your point, though? This has devastated our economy. This is everybody. 17,000 people died.
Can't even leave the house.
Life.
That's because the media big dealed the thing.
Come on, it has nothing to do with the media.
They're talking about how many cases are coming up every day. This is manufactured.
Wow.
No, Phil.
Even your fellow Republicans don't believe that anymore, Phil.
Mitt Romney's concerned.
Even the president doesn't believe
that.
Well, he's being pushed by the.
No. According to him, listen, I got to stand up for Trump. He told us that he's always called it a pandemic. He's always believed it to be a pandemic.
Now he's always called it that.
We're always at war in
pandemic.
Eastern Europe or whatever the heck it was.
It was a Chinese disease or something.
He keeps saying the Chinese. Yeah. That's another thing. He shouldn't say Chinese flu or whatever that thing is.
Why? He should say column A.
He said that, and he got challenged on it. And then I was watching the NBC Power, Power Hour or whatever it is on the stock channel there, and the host there kept talking to this one guy. What the hell is his name? Bass, I guess it was, and he kept saying Chinese flu and the Chinese virus, and the host kept saying, let's just call it the COVID-19 or whatever other flu. And he said, no, we're calling it the Chinese flu. And he said, how about we call it the coronavirus? And he said, no, we're calling it the Chinese flu, Chinese virus. And he kept insisting.
Who said
We're
that?
going to end this interview.
Who was insisting that? One of Trump's people?
No, it was one of the guys that they were interviewing. His name was Bass, I think his name. It was an investor dude, one of those guys that they interview about the stocks.
Of course.
And he kept saying it, and I going, oh boy, it's already catching on.
Come on, the guy was named after a fish.
That's true.
Hang him on the wall.
But I mean, the point is that
the thing is, it's something like that spreads.
Yeah,
and the goons get a hold of it, and it's going to happen.
And Phil, I would be a little worrisome about it. You're right in the target age for having this thing kill you, as is a lot of the people on this panel. Kevin has serious issues. Sibby is not old enough, right? Sibby, how old are you? He doesn't say anything tonight.
40.
40. Okay, so you're still okay. You're the guy who's getting the respirator. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I'm the one they go. Well,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter really. They're saying that. Did you see all the kids down on South Beach? They're saying, screw this. I'm still going to get drunk.
Looks like
they're still partying. Spring break.
Bastards.
I wish that
dumb shits.
Yeah, but you know what? They could be carriers of it, these kids. And
that's where
then they're all going to go home and spread the shit around.
That's where the kids. Well, that's where the kids are being stupid because they're killing their grandparents. Is what they're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
a pandemic.
Yeah. So
one of the guy that died of coronavirus here in town was only 60 years old.
Yeah. Yeah.
Phil, this is remarkable. When we were young, we didn't have a pandemic. You have to think a little bit. And parents, I don't know, where are these parents who
exactly?
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean,
college kids. You go.
So somebody's paying
no
the
one's
bill.
paying
Well,
for your education.
we've come close to the coronavirus here because Marjorie's best friend, who is Natalia, who is Jack's wife, the last time Marjorie saw her was a week ago Saturday, I think. But Natalia, who's working from home, says at her job place, 2 people on her floor where she works have come down with the virus.
Sibby raised his hand.
Yeah, which I don't think we've got a problem because Marjorie would have had it already. Yes, Sibby, did you raise your hand? And then Kevin.
Yeah, it's also called boomer remover.
Boomer remover.
Yeah.
Boomer, oh yeah.
My daughter says that all the time.
Yeah. Yes, Kevin.
That article I sent you, I don't know if you read the whole damn thing. It was very long.
Yeah, I read part of it, not all
but
of it.
the calculation in there is what got me, is that the calculation that I came up with on knowing someone that you would know that caught the coronavirus was basically 1.7, that you would know someone that caught the virus.
1 in 7?
1.7. So maybe 2 people that you would know would catch that virus.
Yeah. So it's
an interesting, it was an interesting calculation.
It's something that we have to be aware of, and it will start leveling off, but not according to the best estimates by our governor here in New York, Andrew Cuomo. Probably it may peak in 45 days. So in the meantime,
that's the beginning of May.
Huh? What'd you say?
That's the beginning of May.
Yeah, and that also means people are going to be out of work till then. Restaurants are going to be closed. Movie theaters are going to be closed. The Broadway theaters are going to be closed. I mean, virtually.
And the schools are done.
And schools are done. School's out for the year. All right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. And
which does not make my daughter happy.
I know. Well, and you know something? It's a tribute to her very smart father that she is unhappy that she can't go to school. Most kids would be going, "Yay, good, now school."
Yeah. What's the song? School's out for summer.
Yeah.
No, school's out forever is the last line in that one.
Yeah, it may be true. It may be online learning from now on.
Oh, gee, we haven't heard much from. Have you had your hand up at all, Charlene? Because I can't see that well.
Oh, I had it up. Yeah.
Okay. Did you have something quick you want to say? Because we're about to sign off here.
No, I'm okay.
Okay, just hunker down. You haven't gone out of the house, have you?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I had to get my nails done.
You had to get your nails done. Okay. Vanity will kill you. Okay.
Brought to you by
Dude Wipes.
We'll get you some monetization here.
Yeah. I think I may have some of those wipes for the butt. Maybe I can use.
You want a clean butt?
It's Dude Wipes. Dude Wipes. You just had to buy those for the name alone, right?
Exactly.
Hey, listen.
He wasn't going to leave without them.
I got to thank everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Rob Alfano, for being here tonight. Charlie Wallace, Phil Meyer, Charlene Martinez, Jeff, Alan. Did it say Alan here? That's what it did say. Yeah. Alan, Al. And let's see here. Who else we got? Oh, yeah, Tony and Sibby Itty. And, of course, Kevin. If you'll all give a big wave goodbye, I will then turn around and wave back at you. Okay, see you. Thanks for being here. That's our citizen panel for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just hang up on them unceremoniously like there's so much grist for the mill. And there we go. I turned them off. And let me turn mine off so that the next program, which is Jack Bishop and the Intersection, can use the lines, okay? And they will be doing it in just a few moments, so you can call their citizen panel. I'm Alex Bennett. That's it for tonight. Tomorrow night, we're back on again. Same time, 10:30 Eastern Daylight Time. Same time, same station in life. And in the meantime, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye, everybody.